We got this from the Daily Mail, and you may have heard the news yesterday, but this plays into a much bigger story around leftists who are losing their jobs for calling for the assassination, praising the attempt, wishing for it. They're losing their jobs over this. Some have screamed, cancel culture. We can't support this. We should not be the authoritarian bad guys. And I'm like, no, hold on there. First and foremost, as is written, it's in the Bible, right? Live by the sword. I believe that's in the Bible. That's where it comes from. Correct me, those that know the Bible better than I. You live by the sword. You die by the sword. And it means you enter this arena, then you will be subjected to the rules of that arena. For the people who have long begged for censorship and to excise ideas they did not like from culture, to have it happen to them, I shed not a single tear. Not one. I show but no remorse. I have no F's to give. None. They're all kept over here. And all of the F's I have to give are for the people who actually care about our rights and free speech and protecting this country in the Constitution. Morning Joe Scarborough, responds to getting pulled off the air after Donald Trump shooting. My friends, this man who is one of the most vile and despicable liars, they pulled his show off the air yesterday because of the attempted assassination on Donald Trump. And they did it because they did not trust this man, nor his wife, Mika Brzezinski. They were concerned, this is my understanding, that they would go on the show and say something shocking and egregious, which would rip to the core their moderate viewers. Regular people don't like what happened. Regular people do not like the attempt on Donald Trump's life. Far left extremists and wackaloon activists are saying something else, and they're losing their jobs because of it. Because regular people are scared. They don't want this. It's gone too far. Let me give you some examples. First, we've got Morning Joe losing his mind over his show being pulled. It is back on the air. And then we, of course, have some real-world examples. A firefighter who was shocked to find it's against the rules to celebrate an assassination attempt, to call for more, and had to resign from his job because of it. Cancel culture. Let's talk about cancel culture. From the Daily Mail, a frustrated MSNBC host, Joe Scarborough, has said he was very disappointed that his flagship morning show, Morning Joe, was pulled off the air after the assassination of Trump. The decision to yank the show on Monday sparked huge backlash and suggestions it was an admission by NBC that they didn't trust the anchors to cover the horrific shooting. Scarborough and co-host wife Mika Brzezinski returned to the air Tuesday morning and vented their frustration at the network. It came hours after Trump was given a rock star welcome as he walked into the Republican National Convention with a bandage on his right ear where the bullet ripped through the skin. Apparently he's got a piece of his ear missing. I don't know how bad it is. They may have been able to just stitch the ear back together, so after he takes the bandage off, it may just look a little different. We'll see. Joe Scarborough. Oh, man. Scarborough and his wife, Mika Brzezinski, returned to the air. Before we start this hour, Willie Geist co-hosts, and I just want to talk briefly to our friends and viewers that watch us every day and talk about what happened yesterday. We were told in no uncertain terms on Sunday evening that there was going to be one newsfeed across all NBC News channels yesterday, and today's show would be Lester Holt. Other people that you worked with on Sunday, and that was going to be one newsfeed across NBC News channels that were going to stay as a network in breaking news mode throughout all day yesterday. That did not happen, Scarborough added, telling viewers how MSNBC returned to its regular programming, which included the first day of the Republican National Convention. We don't know why that was. That didn't happen. Our team was not given a good answer as to why that didn't happen, but it didn't happen. We were also told it was going to happen throughout the day. And I guess that there was such a strong blowback about yesterday morning, I guess they changed their plans. And so those plans changed as well. So it didn't. This is written very poorly. And, we've talked about it off the air. We'll talk about it on the air because we talk about everything on the air. We were very surprised. We were very disappointed. And if we had known that there wasn't going to be the one newsfeed from NBC across all NBC, Willie, we obviously would have been in yesterday morning. Scarborough then said the next time it happens, they will be in chairs covering breaking news or else the network can get somebody else. What I've heard is that they pulled the show, and I don't know if it's true, because they did not trust Morning Joe. Let me explain to you. This is a guy who went on a show and said, this version of Joe Biden is the sharpest version I've ever seen. And then what, like a month later at the debate, Joe Biden's, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, yeah, he was lying to you. He was lying to you. So that's perhaps not why they pulled this show. Maybe it is. But let me show you where we are in the real world. So Raj Hashmi with the FAFO. FAFO. That means F around and find out. Here's a post, Libs of TikTok highlighted, of a firefighter who said, this is Tony Bendali, who resigned. He says that he's upset the bullet missed. His quote was that too bad it didn't hit him square. Libs of TikTok writes, it's especially disgusting coming from a fellow firefighter and someone who's supposed to protect others. That's right. Corey Comprator lost his life protecting his family as these bullets zipped past Donald Trump. Not only do we have Timcast members who were there, shout out to Patriot, Timcast member who called into the show last night, was there with his children, guarding them, protecting them from bullets. And he survived and his family is okay. And we're glad to hear it. But this man, Corey, he's a firefighter. And this guy said, too bad. Well, here's what happens. He ends up getting his post removed. And he says, someone reported my post. And then he posted this. To everyone, please accept this as my resignation from the firehouse. I can't do this. This is so beyond anything that should ever be happening. I have been threatened. My family has been threatened. My friends have been threatened. I have never felt so unsafe in my life. This is so far past anything that should ever be condoned. It's one thing to ruin my life. I accept that. But to put everyone else in danger around me, to shut down everyone's daily life, this is not okay. If you condone what's currently occurring, you should take a long, hard look in the mirror as well. I made a mistake with that simple statement. I own that. But to threaten those around me with harm that had no part in this, I can't do it. I'm sorry to everyone who is currently affected by this. I'm ashamed that I've brought this to you. I've already lost several people extremely close to me. I expect to lose more. I do not believe that anybody should be threatening anybody. And I'm sad to hear that's what people are doing. They shouldn't. But I'd like to stress, this man, for years, and to a certain degree, I'll cut him some slack. But for years, these far leftists, these progressives, have advocated for, celebrated, and called for violence. We all remember the wood chipper poster, the post, the man who posted the wood chipper art about Covington kids, or Reza Aslan saying that a child had a punchable face. They have enjoyed the pleasures of advocating for extreme violence for a decade. And we've begged them to stop. And now, comeuppance, these people are scared because they can now feel what so many people on the right have felt and begged to stop. But I say we be magnanimous. We say, sir, I ask you of this, Tony. Publicly apologize, legitimately and sincerely, and you will have my forgiveness. I do not believe this country moves forward by gloating and tolerating this degree of aggression. The man said a stupid thing. Too bad it didn't hit him square. He should not have said such a thing. He should not. And if he apologizes, I will accept that apology, and I believe that we should all move on. However, in the meantime, it doesn't seem that he's actually going to be apologizing. And I think it's important to stress, once again, that many of these people have celebrated and flouted the rules and gotten away with it for so long, and we only asked that the rules be properly enforced, and they were not being. And now they're starting to be. And that now that these individuals are starting to feel it, now they're getting scared and upset. Well, we should have standards. We should maintain those standards. And so hopefully this man does issue an apology. He's not the only one. There are other big stories the Daily Mail has picked up. Libs of TikTok has pulled up a ton of these stories of individuals who have been gloating. And people are getting mad at Libs, saying, it's cancel culture. It's cancel culture that you are finding people who have posted things online and that you're getting them fired. And my response is, this ain't Jack Black and Kyle Gass on stage at a big venue. These are just people on their own social media accounts expressing awful opinions. And I'm a bit torn on the matter. But I can only say this. I will not defend any of them. I will say we're on the line. If some, I don't know, I think it's important to say this. Viva Frei had an excellent point. He said, if the statements you are making are a fly in the face of your profession, such as a firefighter gloating about a circumstance in which a firefighter was shot and killed, I think that qualifies for your termination. If a nurse also is gloating about a situation where people are being shot and killed, when doctors, I know she's not a doctor, but doctors swear to do no harm, I think it's appropriate she get fired. I think Viva makes a great point in that regard. For a lot of these people, like there's a woman at Home Depot, and she said something and someone went there and filmed her, and she's like, "Sir, I'm at work." These people would never dare express this in public. Now, there is we want them to say these things. We want them to expose who they are kind of circumstance. However, what I will say, my friends, I will not defend them. I won't stand for this man. I won't ask him to get his job back. I won't defend what he said because, well, there's cultural wartime and there's cultural peacetime. And 10 years ago, we all thought that we could avoid the greatest effect of this conflict in the culture war. We thought that if we supported free speech would win. And we thought that these big platforms would protect our free speech, and they don't. And now we have seen that these people have wielded the sword of censorship against us to the point where they are destroying this nation, Western culture and society, something that our ancestors fought so hard to build. And so my answer now is, I'm not going to defend someone who is attacking me. Not going to happen. Principles, morals, these questions are not answered properly. You can't just say, I believe in free speech, therefore my enemies are allowed to attack me. That makes no sense. I will not accept that. If this man wants to lay down his proverbial sword and say, I should not be engaging in this behavior, I say, then you are no longer my enemy. And you deserve your right to speak, same as everybody else. But so long as these people are advocating for and defending the attack on a president, which would be the destruction of this country, and in fact, again, a great point Viva Fry made yesterday on Timcast IRL. If Trump had taken that bullet, World War III, no question, it would have been worse than Franz Ferdinand. These people are advocating for what is essentially setting the match which will light the tinderbox of apocalypse. I will not defend their right to do that. It will not happen. On top of all of this, my, Blue Anon is out in spades. And I will not defend their right to say these things. Stephen Beschloss. Is Trump's bandage covering evidence that he wasn't shot? Still waiting for confirmation from credible sources beyond Trump on his Truth Social that he was actually hit by a bullet rather than hit by glass or other debris. What would it look like? What would Trump's ear look like if it was hit by glass or debris? The same. You know, let me show you. There's a post down here somewhere. Look what they're doing. People are posting this photo from 2022. Actually, I think I might have that pulled up. No, I don't. Just libs of TikTok. People are pulling up this photo from 2022 and saying, "See, look, his ear is fine." This is from 2 years ago. It's a 2-year-old photo. Didn't we see him golfing with a bandage yesterday? No, he was facing the other direction. That's crazy. Trump is on stage with blood in his ear, coming down the side of his face. And they are actually suggesting several different things. One, that when Trump got shot and grabbed his ear, he was actually smacking a gel pack. I love that one. Ooh, he hits the gel pack, it bursts, and then he falls down. It was hidden in his hat the whole time. Then his hat falls off and it's all over his ear. And then you have people arguing the Secret Service, when they grabbed him, they applied the gel pack. Come on, man. You see, when they can't outright advocate for these things, they try to make sure the narrative is that Donald Trump never got hit at all. And so we're seeing this post circulating far and wide. This is the story. This is a photo from today, supposedly. It's not. It's from 2 years ago. And this photo has been going massively viral with millions of views. They're trying to claim that the teleprompter was shot, glass exploded, and Trump got hit by a piece of glass. Would that be any better? Well, they don't want you to be able to say Trump was shot and survived. They want you to say, he got hit by debris. It wasn't that bad. It's absolutely remarkable that these are the positions that they're taking, but unsurprising. If you look at the photos, you can see the teleprompter is not broken. There's no flying glass everywhere. Trump got shot. One of my favorite bits of this, actually, I should see if I can pull this up. because it's fairly obvious these people do not understand what a bullet is. They really, really don't. I'm going to scroll through my Twitter real quick and see if I can find this. If I can't find it, let's see. Let's see if we can find the post here. They're posting full rifle round, cartridge and everything, and saying there's no way that this injured his ear in this way, because they don't understand that a cartridge is not a bullet. So I think I might have this here, but it's not letting me. There we go. We got you. Here's the post. Liberal Lisa in Oklahoma. This image of Trump was taken today. There is absolutely nothing wrong with his ear, and it has zero damage from a bullet. Everything about Trump is a con or a grift, with 1.6 million views and how many responses? 1.9 thousand replies, 6.6 thousand retweets, reposts. Readers added context they thought people might want to know. The photo was taken September 17th, 2022. They're lying. It's a cult. This guy who's saying, the bandage isn't real, or I jumped. It's over here. It's a cult. They cannot accept that they live, that the world is not as they believed it to be. Trump was a coward. He should have run and hid. They can't accept that they're wrong and they live in a fictitious reality. Let me see if I can. Here you go. Redheaded Libertarian. The picture is from 2022. Let me see if engagement lies. Let me see if I can find the bullet post. That's on this one. There's too many posts. Maybe look at this. Another person. President Trump regrets to inform his followers he forgot to put the medical gauze bandage back on his right ear. Look how they're lying and making this up, claiming he either wasn't shot or that this picture from a long time ago is a picture from yesterday. Oh man, where's perhaps the photo of the bullet was deleted because the person was so embarrassed. I really do think that's very likely. They posted a picture of an AK round, 7.62 by 39, I believe, and said, how could this round have made such a small mark on his face? Because they don't understand that, bullets are not the cartridge. Look at this. GOP Jesus says, President Trump regrets to inform his followers he forgot to put the medical gauze bandage back on his right ear that was shredded by the assassin's bullet. He apologized for exposing his followers and the TV audience to that gruesome wound, but said that for him, the wound is not just not big a deal because his heroic toughness. So I don't know if this is meant to be a manipulation or whatever it is, but this is the reaction from the left. And there's a reason why I highlight this in the context of everything else. This is where we are currently at. The breakdown is happening in real time. Trump's prediction market numbers are surging, which I'll go over in the next segment. These CNN apologizing for the way they're speaking. The jokes don't fly anymore. We have finally broken the dam. The Democrats can no longer make these jokes. Now, to be fair, Kathy Griffin did get fired from her New Year's CNN thing for posting that Donald Trump bloody head. But Kyle Gass, Tenacious D, they think they can say these things because they've been allowed to. Because if you go back, I think it was 2019 when I was on Joe Rogan with Vijaya Gadde. It's a long time ago now, huh? And they were saying that, when I showed them Antifa posting calling for violence, and they were like, well, we don't know about these things. That's not true. Several responses to the post had been deleted, but the post itself was allowed to remain. And they say, oh, I don't know. They allowed it. They allowed it the whole time. And now they can't. Some people are pointing out that GOP Jesus is a parody account. That's why I said I think this is intended to be a joke or whatever. But you can see that these other people, and this is not the only account, Liberal Lisa in Oklahoma, they have been posting these things. Let me see if this one, I don't know, that's a block. There was a viral post of the bullet. I thought it would be funny to bring up, but it's not here, so must have been deleted or I just can't see it. But this is the game that's being played right now. I talk to friends and family members, and I talk to strangers. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago after the Snyder Supreme Court ruling, I think it was, where they said that there's a difference between bribery and gratuity in statutory law. Illegal gratuity is payment for an official act that is given after the official act is completed. And bribery is payment for an official act where payment is given before the official act is completed. And typically we're familiar with bribery. Someone gives the money to the guy and says, vote the way I want you to vote. Gratuity would be after the guy votes, they say, you did good. Kick him back some money. I'm sitting at a poker table in West Virginia, Charlestown races, and the guy to my left says, jokingly, he wins some money in the poker hand and says, now I can use this to bribe the cop when he pulls me over because it's not a bribe, it's a gratuity. I'm just giving him a tip when he doesn't ticket me. And I was like, that sounds like something MSNBC reported. He points out, like, the Supreme Court just said you can give a bribe so long as you give it after the fact. And I was like, actually, the Supreme Court said the opposite. Kavanaugh's opinion was that you cannot engage in illicit gratuity or illicit bribery, but that the government had wrongly charged a man under the wrong statute, which opens up a defense where someone might claim it was a gratuity, not a bribe, and that therefore they can be released. So no, you can't do it. He says you got to charge him under the appropriate statute. And he was like, oh, well, that was just what one of the Democrats was saying. And I'm like, isn't that it? That's what they do. The Democrats will mislead you and they will lie to you because they want you to live in their bubble reality where they control you and you give them your money, your resources, your power. There was a viral post that was sent to me far and wide of a woman showing herself with short dyed hair holding up a no Trump sign. And she said that she was this progressive leftist. She didn't know much about Trump, just that she hated him. And then she saw the interview I did with him and realized she was being lied to. She literally cited my name and people were tagging me in it. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to interview Donald Trump, to ask him these questions around Julian Assange and I'm grateful that he's out, but, certainly wasn't under Donald Trump. But about North Korea and foreign policy. And I felt like the North Korea story wasn't getting enough attention. Even the libertarians at the LNC were like, that was awesome because that was one of the most important things he did. He tried to bring peace to the Korean Peninsula. And that is, I told Trump he's the greatest president of my lifetime. It's not saying much. It's only a handful. Right? Trump liked it, though. He loves to hear the compliments, but he deserves it because his efforts to try and bring peace to the Korean Peninsula is one of the most significant and impactful moves made by an American leader in my lifetime and maybe even in the past 50 years. You look at the wars, you look at Vietnam, the Korean War. Trump tried to put an end to that war. He crossed the DMZ into North Korea with no security detail. They want to lie to you. They don't want you to know he did that. They want to tell you he's a bumbling moron, that he's suffering from dementia. They lie. They lie about everything. Trump is an old man. I prefer someone younger. He's going to get 4 more years. I'll take it. If he can engage in more peace deals and moves like he did with North Korea, I will take it. Was he perfect? No. Did he have bad foreign policy? He certainly did, but his foreign policy was a slight net benefit. They say, I'm going to vote for Biden because he's the lesser of two evils. I never vote for the lesser of two evils. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016 because I did not believe in him. And then 2020 came around and I looked at everything we had seen thus far and I said, I would not be honest if I said I wouldn't vote for this man. With DEI, with the legal actions taken at the federal level, Trump is shutting these things down. They're trying to put race-based policies in the executive office. Trump's trying to get our troops out of the Middle East. Trump's trying to bring peace to North Korea. Certainly there were drone strikes and commando raids, but I see a net positive here. Let's give him another shot at this one. He made mistakes. He made a lot of them. He hired bad people, but let's give him another shot at this one. 2019, a great economy. And they lied every step of the way. And now that Donald Trump has survived an assassination attempt, his polls are skyrocketing. The prediction odds jumped dramatically. He's going to win. Liberals are saying he's going to win. He showed strength and defiance when he was shot. He's helped raise with this fundraiser that's being pushed across the board, but that, authorized by Trump. And rumor is he'll be at the funeral for Corey Comprador. He is doing what he has to do. He's quite literally taken a bullet for this country and for you. And they don't want you to know. Because how do you win an election against a man who took a bullet for you? He got shot in the ear. The shooter wasn't aiming for center mass. He was aiming for Trump's head. That's insane. Some have suggested Trump actually did get shot, but he was wearing concealed level 4 armor. Possible. Maybe ceramic plate, light flexible rifle armor systems. Perhaps. But, I'll leave it there. This is the importance of media and culture and why it matters that we win this culture war. Smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends, and become a member at timcast.com to support our work and keep the show going. For those that are watching live, of course, the show will continue. We've got a couple more segments for you. And for everybody else, tune in. The next segment will be at 4 p.m., and we will see you all then.